Lord of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Boom, 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 boom. I don't even know if that actually worked. That's just me being fucking stupid. Got baseball in the background. I'm just in a good mood. We're going to Comic-Con tomorrow. 2 days Comic-Con.
Well, this will be out when Comic-Con, when we're at Comic-Con.
Technically, yeah.
So
it will be out when we're at Comic-Con. But we're going to Comic-Con. Hey!
And hopefully we'll get some...
I'm getting John Cena picture signed and everything. I sound hella drunk when I said that.
I'm trying to, and we're gonna try to go on the cruise.
Shit, almost said
and try to get some girls that are.
Oh yeah, we got a cruise too. I'm gonna be broke as fuck after this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically this is Sight Beyond Sight. As we jumped in with randomness.
Yes.
It is your boy Andrew A to the N to the D to the R to the E.
I thought you almost forgot to say your name.
Almost did for a second. And that would have been fucking hilarious. Kid, that's why I'm trying to not laugh. But it's me. It's Drew. Let's try to serious up a little bit. With Nick, you already know.
Whoop-de-whoop.
Yeah. So today we're gonna talk about What If, Why the Last Man, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then talk about ourselves, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
we're gonna divert later on.
Yeah.
But we're a little bit behind with everything. But we've been busy. We got lives, you know.
Oh yeah, Comic-Con, nigga.
So I think we only left off with the last two what ifs that we didn't talk about. And I think it was What If Ultron won, which led into the last episode, What If Watcher Broke His Vow. So a quick synopsis, What If Ultron won was the Age of Ultron thing. He killed everybody in the world. Thanos comes with almost the whole gauntlet. And these are things I'm going to get back on.
Yeah.
But Ultron just like said, interesting, and then cut him in half and took the gauntlet, became uber powerful and used the gauntlet correctly. And then the Watcher was narrating, obviously, like he does on the show. And then Ultron's like, who the fuck is talking to me? And then the Watcher's like, and then he turns around. What? Like,
yeah.
He knows everything, but doesn't at the same time. It's really weird.
It's almost like watching Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah. So I know I just jumped 2 episodes, but basically the What If Ultron won, it speaks for itself. Ultron wins, kills all of humanity, then ends up killing almost everybody in the universe, and he gets bored. Then he hears the Watcher, and then it goes into the him fighting the Watcher, which is a horrible fight. Horrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what?
Awesome fight scene. Like, wow, I'm dyslexic.
He went crazy on that one.
Yeah, but it was a great fight scene, and then it leads into this one where what if the Watcher broke his vow? But going back to the Ultron one, it was kind of cool because Watcher was kind of like, grab that file. He's like, what the fuck? Like he was getting frustrated. Like he's like, think about you watching a gamer game, and you're just fucking do that. Just do
so
this.
At a certain point, it's a frustrating aspect when you see somebody doing something stupid.
Yeah. So it was interesting watching that show, and they did the Argimzola thing. I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
But they bring him back from Winter Soldier, and then again going to this other episode. So this other episode is What If the Watcher broke his vow of just watching and started doing something. So
what if? I just love the fact that it's just what if.
It's just what if. I love it. I kind of want the omnibus, but I don't know yet.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna see it there, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. But so basically, it's what if he broke his vows, and then he makes it goes through almost every character from the past episode. So he gets Agent Carter, he gets the Dark, Doctor Strange. He gets the Black Panther, that's Killmonger. he gets the Black Panther that's what do you call it? What's his name?
Wait.
Quill.
Oh,
Star-Lord?
Peter Quill, Star-Lord
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah, my fault.
And it goes back and they take like characters from everyone. When you see Gamora and Iron Man, that's a lost episode. I don't know why they didn't put it in.
Yeah, that was still weird.
Something else.
It was funny because of that shit. Like, because I thought about, but I didn't know it was a lost episode.
Yeah.
I was literally sitting there like, oh, so they just randomly threw another character in there. Like, I thought it would be her episode.
Yeah.
But it didn't turn out that way. So yeah.
No, and I think that episode was supposed to be called "What If Gamora Killed Thanos?"
And that's what it felt like. Yeah.
So and that was ironically the only episode that Iron Man actually lives. So it was a weird thing.
Hey, being an alcoholic is hard.
It was supposed to be 10 episodes. I don't know why they took that out, but whatever. So that's that little thing. So they get there. He says it like the Guardians of the Multiverse. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing later on. So he gets like Party Thor, you know, all the typical shit. Then they fight Ultron, super crazy Ultron. They have a big fight, battle scene. You get Arkham Zola again, and he actually is Arkham Zola because they put him in the Ultron thing, like the Ultron body.
I think it was a knight, just
and then his face is in the stomach like he should be in the comic books. And then Killmonger takes the stones, and then they have this ultimate fight, and then it ends with basically the Watcher putting them in that weird universe, like Doctor Strange's glass universe. Killmonger versus Arkham Zola Ultron, with trying to get the gauntlet for themselves. And so Doctor Strange is supposed to protect that, I guess, for all eternity now, from how it made it seem.
Doctor Strange will, because he's
kind of ended that way. But all in all, I think the last two were probably the best two.
They were the more entertaining two. Yeah. They were, yes.
Yeah. So, like you said, like, did you have anything to take from those?
No, I honestly was entertained by them. I thought they were quicker to the point. They were more what you would assume it would be.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the whole concept of the whole aspect. Like, it was a build to get to this.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And I fuck with it. Like, it was cool. But I don't know how to say freaking it had its episodes where it was very like I didn't care. Like
for the whole series.
Yeah.
That's a fact, because like I said, Party Thor, the only thing that was good with that episode was him fighting Miss Marvel, and then Ultron came out of that. But it was just like that one sucked. The Ant-Man one sucked. I mean, when Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
I was like, that one sucked to me. But I thought like Agent Carter was kind of cool.
Nah, Agent Carter wasn't bad. I fucked with Agent Carter. I fucked with the Peter Quill one, the Black Panther. I fucked with that one. I'm trying to think. The zombie one, obviously, I'm a zombie head, so obviously I fucked with that one. And then the last two. So in a way, the percentage isn't bad.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Like, I was just trying to point out the fact, like, it's basically been what it's been for the Disney Plus era so far.
Yeah.
That they've been hit and miss. Like, they'll have their episodes that are great.
Yeah.
Then they have the episodes that are just like, all right, we get it. And it just goes on.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to deal with it. Yeah.
That's a fact. And I think I liked from the last episode that they bring in, and I'll tell my cons to what I didn't like about it. But I like that they bring in, like, Doctor Strange just dumped all the zombies on him. And it kind of brings it back to like the Secret Wars 2015, where they have the army of Ultrons and the army of zombies fighting each other. I thought that was cool. I feel like these last two episodes did a lot of callbacks to actual comic book shit.
Okay.
There was one thing that really excited me was when they powered up, they had the cosmic bubbles.
Yeah.
Jack Kirby made those like famous. And I was like, good, thank God you showed it. Like, finally, hopefully they do that in the movies. And, hopefully they're going to bring the actual Uatu the Watcher in the movies.
Well, they will, because they already showed them. It's not like it's hard to not bring them in now because of, Guardians too.
Yeah.
That they were in. So that's not a big issue. Like, a lot of the shit is basic. Like, at the end of the day, to really bring up the MCU, Spider-Man is the jump off point to everything that's gonna happen next. Because that is the true meaning of the multiverse of what we're dealing with now. Honestly.
Do you think that that's dark Doctor Strange in the Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. Like there's a reason why he didn't listen to Wong.
Yeah. Because that's what I was feeling too, because I was just like, yo, he's acting different, doing the winks and doing the like, okay, whatever, like he's nonchalant, and now he's fighting, Spider-Man, or supposedly. It could just be them working together, who knows. But
I feel like it's gonna be him against Spider-Man, and then that's where there's a concept thing been out there, a lot of it that's showing Spider-Man having the cape, having the
oh yeah, they're giving that away a lot.
Yeah.
But
so I feel like that's gonna happen. Like he's gonna end up, and then the cape's gonna leave, go, and then it's gonna help Spider-Man and then from there we'll get the real Doctor Strange, and we'll have a big ass fight scene.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna be epic, and we're gonna walk right into just crazy multiverse shit after that.
Yes,
because that's literally what it's gonna walk into. Like, there's not gonna be a one universe. It's gonna be a spin off of multiple movies of like, oh, this happened now because of this. Like Spider-Man is gonna be Spider-Man has officially became the jump off point for everything Marvel MCU for right now.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's a fact.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. But if Doctor Strange would have came out first, I would have said him. But you're right, because Spider-Man's coming out first, and that's the jump off point now.
And now you already know what Doctor Strange is gonna be. Where Doctor Strange is already what is called Multiverse of Madness or whatever. So now it's gonna show, because he's probably gonna be able to go to different realities, and he's gonna have to deal with certain shit. His movie is gonna be probably the most interesting one. Out of everyone.
Because you're gonna have Wanda.
Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of different aspects to it.
Yeah,
too many different things that you have to touch on, because he's the main catalyst of everything. Like, yeah, Spider-Man is the jump off point, but he's the main reason why things now are happening. So now when he gets his own movie, they have to explain more.
Yeah,
that's the whole shit.
The only thing I didn't like about the What If series altogether was basically, like, the only problem I had with the ending, it was too, you should have made that a little longer, because it was just kind of like, now they're together, fight, over. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a good epic, because you just had an epic fight with the Watcher, who's basically a god.
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
had these normal people that you're having trouble with.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of like, that doesn't make sense. But the other thing I have a problem with was, like, you made Thanos look like a stupid asshole, because the way they made Ultron use the fucking gauntlet
was amazing. Yeah,
was like, that's the full power, and all Thanos did was a snap and fucked up his own. That's why I was just kind of like,
it's hard because at the same time, like,
I know
it's a cartoon, yeah.
But it's part of this universe technically, so it's just kind of like you made it look dumb, especially like.
But they made it technically at the same time. You gotta get mad at it. You gotta get mad at it fairly, where you could say, like, they already made it look dumb before this with Loki, where they turned the stones into paperweights.
Yeah.
So it was already what it was. So at this point in time, like,
I do agree.
I think it was a rare good way, because as a fan, and I'm pretty sure you'll get it when I say this, like, it was a good humbling aspect, where it's like, you get just the one aspect fans, where everybody's just now the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos is the Almighty.
Yeah.
But we both know, like, no, there's more.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like the way it was, like, kind of like humble, like, nah, like, y'all know this, but y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Like, there's more to it, you know?
And what they did with Thanos is great in the movies. And I was just saying, like, but at the same time, it makes me also think, like, and I'm not trying to retract my statement I just made. I'm just saying, like, the only justification you could say is, like, Ultron's a supercomputer. So he's like, Thanos just had a point. Like, he just wanted the glove to do his bidding. Like, I just want half gone. That's it. I'm done now. Where Ultron's like, I'm taking everyone down. And that's probably why he used the power. So that's the only justification I could see. But then I also thought of that, like, Loki to Kang, it's nothing. It's about a paperweight.
Okay.
So that's what interests me now, because it's like you see what Thanos could do with it. Now you see from the cartoon what the potential was, and if Kang is basically saying like, "Hey, it don't mean shit."
Yeah.
Now, this is where I want to see, and this what I hope that they do in the movies is straight up like show me why he's the next villain, because I know
it's shame, yeah, but he does.
I'm sorry, people. I'm going to spoiler alert for Marvel fans. If you don't know that Galactus is coming, you don't think that the Beyonders ever coming, you don't think that other
they talked about a lot of shit that he's
You got X-Men, who has the Shi'ar Empire. You don't think that's coming? You don't think they're gonna try to redo fucking Phoenix again?
They have to, but they at the end of the day, they kind of have to.
And then
somebody got to save her.
And they have X-Men, and this is what I'm hoping for the Eternals movie. Just sidetracking and we get into Y the Last Man. Eternals, I don't have much faith in the movie because I don't know why. But if you don't explain Thanos and Apocalypse,
they will. No, I don't think they're gonna.
Lost your chance.
I don't know if they're gonna go into Apocalypse. Apocalypse is the possible. Maybe I don't know.
Apocalypse and Celestials.
But that's your reason. You have your reason. You have your reasons. I'm just saying off of the aspect of what the universe is.
Yeah.
Thanos has already been talked about. They already mentioned Thanos once in the trailer. So you already know they mentioned him and they bring up why they asked why they didn't help. So that's already an aspect. They already acknowledging that.
They're related to him. At least one of them is related.
Well, that part, I don't know if they're gonna get to that. Yeah. We already know they make what it is.
Just for you, because I don't think a lot of people, whatever. But that's why, like you saw the trailer with the Deviants, those weird creatures.
Yeah.
So in a Marvel universe, it was Eternals and the Deviants, but they were like the good and bad. Like it was Celestials made both of them.
Yeah.
And then there was Normal Man.
All right.
So the whole thing about like they were like in the comic books portrayed as these like evil, ugly looking monster creatures. They were like the gods that all these gods look up to, kind of thing, like the folklore of like Norse and Greek mythology, whatever. So and then they were supposed to watch over humanity, but the whole thing about the Deviants is like basically mutants are technically deviants because it was like them, like the humans and the Deviants kind of fusing together.
Okay.
And some of them are, it was kind of like that. But even in the comic books, which they kind of do in the movies, which I kind of like, is they kind of left Earth like, fuck these motherfuckers. Like we're gonna go to Pluto or wherever and live on there.
Do that shit, out there, yeah.
But all right, so we'll go to the next topic, which is Y the Last Man. I can't believe the whole series is over already. That to
Wait,
me,
that was the last episode?
Yeah, like that was. I think.
I am so fucking behind on everything in my life. It's horrible. Yeah. Like I can't wait to get back to fucking normal. Like I literally was living off of shit. I'm just like, wow, wait, what, nigga? I just watched like 8 episodes of something that I thought was gonna be like a longer series.
It was 9 episodes in.
Was that 9?
I think it was 9 or 8. 9 or 8 already. That's why I was like, once you told me,
because there's no way that show ended like that.
I think so. I'll double check.
No way it ended like. No way they ended like. Because the way it ended, like, it basically ended with the CIA agent or whatever, the secret agent. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she's a number 357.
Yeah. Basically running back into the guy and the doctor and was like, all right, cut your stuff out. Like, you're going to listen to me and do what I say type ish. Yeah.
That was only 5 episodes. My bad. Actually, no. I think it's 7 episodes so far, but one says new upcoming. So
there'd probably be an episode or 2 more if you want to say, but
that was my mistake.
I was just like, wait, there's no way. I was like, I dead ass was watching that shit. Like, I know there's another episode.
So we'll talk to like 1 through 5. I think that's what we saw.
All right.
But for you that don't know, Y the Last Man is basically another comic book related show that's something happened, nobody knows, all the men die on the planet, and now the woman rule, but there's only this last man and his monkey, who is a man, that survived. Nobody knows why. No, and this is in the show, and nobody knows why. And that's what they're trying to figure out. And they're also trying to figure out, like, now we got to do stuff
how to
like
survive. Yeah,
because we need a man to survive. Women can't just have babies by themselves. So it's getting to that point. But
ain't that
I'll
some
let
shit?
you go.
All the women would die out without being able to reproduce. Ain't that some? Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Ain't that some shit? Like some shit.
Yeah.
So some shit.
Red
so
pill.
what you were gonna say?
Red pill community. No, but basically that's the gist of the show, that they're gonna do that, like what they're doing now, and even what we came up to. So far, in my opinion, I don't know if you want to go into the episodes.
You can do that. You can do that.
So it kind of starts out, I'll say, me reading and finishing the series. It's very comic book accurate, minus a few things. So yeah, you starts off with the main character. So it's Yorick. This is why it's called the Last Man. The Y chromosome, obviously. The main guy.
His name is Yorick.
Well, the main guy is named Yorick, and is kind of like, okay, the story is basically about him. He's the last fucking man on earth. Basically. He's a typical average guy. He wants to be a fucking magician, and he's a kind of a loser.
That's what makes him more of a loser, because the nigga's inspired to be a magician.
Yeah. So he's learning like sleight of hand and all that shit. And he got a pet monkey that he's like, I guess he rescued, but the monkey is supposed to be his kind of
it's a helper monkey
assistant, like a magician assistant, but the monkey doesn't fucking listen, which is kind of cool. His mother is a senator, so she's powerful, and then the sister is like a EMP. Is that what you call it?
EMT.
Works in the ambulance and all that shit. She's kind of a slut.
She's a hot slut. In the show, at least for me.
Yeah, but so
I like what I like.
I'm trying to, like, because all the episodes kind of meld with me. But just to tell you the main character, so it's a mom, Then there's the African American woman who was Agent 357, I think.
Yeah, that's 355. 357, nigga.
Yeah.
Nah, I remember that, because that's what it is, 357.
And just look at her as the Michonne of Walking Dead, and I'm not trying to say that to be racist. Is trying to say
is she supposed to be like the Michonne of Walking Dead?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, because Michonne's like super badass. This one, she's like a super agent, like she's badass in the comic books too, like she whoops.
Yeah, but Michonne, because I guess
in the comic book, yeah,
she was badass, but she wasn't as badass as she could, because I felt like she got dumbed down at a point.
I think everyone got dumbed down at a point.
Yeah.
In the comic book and the show.
Well, that's a whole another conversation.
Yeah. So she's like a badass, like a secret agent, and in the comic book, just like they're gonna do with the show, as you see, because I think we went to episode 5.
Yeah.
Basically, she's his bodyguard, because again, he's an average guy, doesn't know how to fight. He's just like a weird, like, again, a quirky average dude. Just like in a comic book, he wants to find his girl. But the thing is, with this show that's different from the comic book, is that his girl's in Australia, and he was going to propose over the phone. Then the phone shuts off. Like, every shit happens, and the phone shuts off.
Yeah.
So he never got to propose, but she's all the way in Australia. And you don't see her for the whole comic book until a certain point. But in the show, they made his girl looked like an asshole.
But
like
that was a more realistic aspect.
Yeah, like she was there, she's just like, you don't do nothing for. And I was watching, I was just like, you really made her a bitch. Like,
they made it more believable to the aspect where he was a simp, right? That's the word.
I guess so, because he likes his girl. So does you like your girl, you're a simp.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a simp, and because like the whole aspect of it, because like I said, like, she was a bitch in the show.
Yeah,
is because he wasn't a successful income person. He didn't have enough money in his job.
Fucking hypergamous bitch.
Yeah. So That was just relatable to
turn
now.
this to a red pill shit.
Like no, but I'm just saying, like it was related to now. Like that's why, like I never read the comic, and I might buy it tomorrow. Who knows? Hey, I'm gonna just keep throwing shout outs to Comic-Con.
Yeah, we're gonna be broke.
Yeah, but
we're gonna be coming back mad upset.
Like, you know your shit. Yeah, we'll do a pod about being pissed off about being broke about Comic-Con. That'd be a fun one.
We were supposed to go out on a fucking cruise. Spend all this money on John Cena and Chris Claremont trying to sign like 50 comic books and shit.
I just need all this money for the future. Nah, but not reading the comic book, I'm going in there freely.
Yeah,
it's such a cooler aspect because I don't really have nothing to work off of, so I can't judge. I'm just judging off of what the show is, and I don't mind a lot of what the show has done. Honestly, like it's show wise is not bad at all.
No.
But when you compare it to the comic book, like how you just compared it, it made me feel kind of like, oh man, like made me feel a little weird.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie.
The other thing is the only other bad thing, because like I said, I agree with you, and usually I don't, because this is why I like watching Sweet Tooth before I read the comic book, because I would have fucking hated it like I do now. Like I don't hate it. I appreciate the show for what it is and the comic book for what it is. So I was just like, but to me, this show so far is a very comic book accurate, but the Australia thing didn't bother me too much. The thing that bothered me was because throughout the whole book, and not to give it away, so maybe it's a spoiler, I'm not gonna try to, but that ring is a special rock, like he says in the show, just like in a comic book, whereas like it's a special thing. So when this all happens, you don't know if it was a government thing, like it was like an underground government thing, or was it a religious thing, or was it a magical thing? Was that ring magical? Because since she was in Australia, he had it on him, like around his neck on a chain. And in the comic book, there's a point where he takes it off, like the thing off, like fuck it, and then he starts getting sick. And then he starts thinking like, oh my God, I just took off my ring and put it back on. And then you find out little things later on. But I'm just saying, like,
well, we won't
give the hint. Like that they gave that, they fucked that up with the show, is that maybe because he still has it on him, they could still do that. But to me, it was kind of like, that was a cool thing in a comic book reading it, to figure out, like, is it the fucking rock? Is that magical rock? Or is it a religious thing? Like, oh my God, this is Judgment Day? Or is it a government thing? Was it like
but that's the whole build of the whole shit. Yeah. Because like honestly, like that show, like I mean, we did talk about it, but just a quick break. It didn't end bad. Like it still gave you enough to want to watch another season.
Sweet Tooth?
Yeah.
Yeah, but until you read it, you would understand.
No, and I agree. No, because like I'm halfway through it, and I could say like there's a lot of shit to it that I was like, oh, this would be a lot cooler and a lot more interesting if it was more accurate to it.
Yeah.
Like just him and Big Man alone.
Yeah.
That aspect, to me, I fucked with. That's what kind of made me like the comic.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, like I like this way than the way it is on the show, where it was just a cool, like, hey, yeah, buddy, I hope, like, you know, it was a very simple times shit. Like, nah, that's not real life. Like I always will be that person, as I'm not trying. I will never be egotistical to say like I'm a savage and I'm gonna kill people and in the apocalypse. But I'm not naive enough to think that everybody's my fucking friend either. Yeah, you know.
And that's how you got to roll. To be honest. That's how you got to roll. We're gonna make an apocalyptic.
That podcast we're gonna have probably a couple other people here for that.
Of course, here we are.
But that one's gonna be fun as hell. It'll probably be long as hell too.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
But so far on the show, again, going up to the episode, it's just kind of that happened. Like all the men died. No one knows what's going on. And they're trying to, like, the main character, Yorick, his mother is a senator, but then she starts taking control because the president's wife was presumed dead in a plane accident. You find out later in the later episodes that she survived the plane crash and she's like in Iraq or something like that. And then they bring her back home, and they're gonna be their beef, because now they bring the president's wife home, and now she's taken over, and she's you could see that she's a little arrogant, where she's kind of like, oh, well, I'm
because
in
she was
control
supposed
now,
to
so
be,
shut
yeah,
your mouth. and
exactly.
Get me some water, bitch, like kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where the other one, the senator of the mother of the main character, she took control, but you could tell that she's a little egotistical. She's like, I got this, don't worry about it. Where it was just like, now she's like,
it's two egos
I'm
now.
not-
Yeah, it's two.
So you're gonna see a fraction probably. I don't think they did a lot of that in the comic book, but
they'll make it. At
make
the end
it a
of
thing,
the day, like shows make their own little plot.
Of course, and I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Like, make it more interesting. So, basically, and I'll even say what they're doing in the show now is kind of like speeding up what they did in the comic book, because then what they're saying is like, oh, find this geneticist who's called Dr. Mann, which is a woman. And she is a lesbian in the comic book, like she is in the show. So it was like a take on words, Dr. Mann, but basically, she's so super girl shit.
We all knew that was coming.
But she had like a doctor's. The fucking comic book is way before its time, to be honest. And she does things with genetics and cloning, so that's why they went after her, because her father did the same thing, and that's a big plot in the comic book too. So once they already find her with the Agent 355 or 357, whatever her name is, and they're starting to move on, because 357 from the show, it looks like she's doing her own thing, which is different from the comic book. So she was talking to that one other agent.
All right.
And I was trying to pay attention, and I was like, why did she go there in the first place? And what is her mission? Because she's saying like, nah, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was trying to figure out, why is she sitting in that house? Why is she like, yo, let's just leave. Let's just not be part of the government. Like, what is her deal? So I didn't get that. I didn't understand that.
I can't, because I don't know anything else besides what the show tells me.
Yeah. So I was just like, I don't understand what they're doing, but I think that's another different plot that they're going. Like, she's gonna have her own mission that she doesn't tell anybody else. Then you have the mother, and then you have the sister, who I'm trying to think, because I had to reread that part. But I don't think in the comic book she killed the guy. She was having sex with the guy when he was dying. I think that's, or no.
Wait,
no,
what?
No.
When he was dying? So she just jumped on his dick and just fucked him?
No. It was because nobody knew this was happening.
Yeah.
So they were having sex in the ambulance.
And he died while they were having sex.
I think so, but I could be wrong. He maybe went out of the thing and died there, like taking a piss or whatever.
Having sex. That would be a lot more funny.
I gotta see that, but I know she didn't kill him. They were kind of like,
oh god,
yeah, because it was kind of like that weird. What does it even matter now? Like, there was no.
It was amazing. Oh god, my heart.
So yeah, it was just like a weird thing like that. And then the show, and this is one of the things I liked about the show that they did do in the comic book, was they were showing the rats and the animals dying first, which would have bring another aspect into it. Like, oh my god, was it a plague from the animals? That they didn't do that in the comic book. They made it.
They made it a different thought. That's what makes. That's why I said, like, we have different views, like, because that part made me think like, you know what that reminded me of? Parasite Eve. Honestly.
Yeah. Good underrated game.
Yes. And that's where I was like, oh shit. But then hearing how you explain, I'm like, oh shit. Like, now I gotta literally look at both views. Like, I gotta read the comic and then watch this shit, so I can
just watch this and then read the comic. I would say, because you're already in this, so don't read the comic.
Nigga, I fucking started reading the actual Walking Dead comic before I started watching the show.
Yeah. Then
I watched the show and I was just like, like, I already knew like the whole Shane shit, like how everything broke down.
Yeah.
But I accepted certain shit. It was just towards the end, blah blah blah. But we're gonna do a Walking Dead podcast.
Oh yeah.
So like
fully,
once the season ends, because this is the last season, we're gonna do one.
Okay.
Basically, I don't mind it. Like, I'll get the, like, let's say if I buy this shit tomorrow, I'll get the comic, I'll start reading it, and I'll get to a point where I feel like it is on the show, and I'll stop,
Yeah.
And I'll go through there because then I could go through boom,
Yeah.
point.
That's
That doesn't
that's
bother
fine.
me because I rather just I want to compare and contrast because watching it,
Mhm.
like knowing it's a major comic and knowing how it looks and shit,
Yeah.
it bothers me knowing that is like I don't know what's accurate and what's not.
Yeah.
That bothers me actually now instead of before where I wouldn't probably not have cared.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
care now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's why I'm saying like I'd rather watch the show than read a comic book.
Yeah.
That's why in certain ways, because I'm reading Injustice and I'm waiting for the cartoons to come out.
That shit comes
But
out that shit literally comes out by the time we go to Comic-Con this week, the following week, that weekend,
Yeah.
or the week after, the movie comes out. It comes out the 18th of October.
See, and this is where I'm saying what I'm fine with that. I know we're going off tangent. I'll bring it back to why.
We're all over the place.
But because I'm on the second omnibus, so I'm already in year 5. So I know that where they went. And to me, and this is what I love about the comic book so far, they had whoever's writing it, and I gotta look it up to be honest, I should be being a comic book fan. They did everything right because at the end of the first omnibus, you're wondering why, because they have like Raven and Cyborg, but you don't see any of the other Teen Titans ever. But they're so big. Every comic book is busy, like this and this and this and this person and this person and this person. And then at the end of the omnibus, you see what happened to the rest of them. Because I feel like people were thinking that. So the writers are like, oh shit, we got to put this in. So you like, oh, that's where they are. And then once and the whole 1.5 omnibus I read so far, probably 3 or 4 max filler comics where you're just like, I could have done without that. But besides that, all of it is action.
For the second half of the comic, you think?
Even in the second omnibus is because they bring in people that I even forgot about. Where it was just like, where the fuck was Hawkman and Girl? And then they bring it in, and it's just like, damn, where's Plastic Man? Plastic Man's like they.
But that's why it makes sense for a lot of shit. Like, but
we'll get into that.
Yeah, that's another conversation. We'll do an Injustice one in general where we'll touch the video game, the comic, and the movie.
Yeah.
We'll do one
and we'll relate because really they're all related.
Yeah.
Like the game came out first.
That's what I'm saying. Like we can all put all 3 together. Yeah.
So but going back to Why the Last Man. So basically it ended on that where they find Dr. Mann, who is the and I'll say it because it is kind of a point, is an Asian female lesbian doctor. So it is a point. And I'm saying this comic book is before its time because it's before now, where everything is so, LBG, Q, whatever. Yeah. I'm just gonna call them alphabet. I'm sorry.
We're not Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, don't cancel us. We didn't even get money from this.
Can't be canceled.
But it was very before its time, and and the thing I like about the comic book that they're bringing on the show, and you'll see from like the Yorick's mother, who's a senator, is like the strong woman, because you do have women in there that are kind of like we don't have.
God, all the men. I don't know. He's a strong woman. I wish they had the strong man from like South Park.
Oh,
strong woman.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying, like, in a sense of the comic book wasn't pro anything. It was just showing how, like, okay, if it was like a what if. What if all the men died except for this one quirky guy who he wasn't an engineer, he wasn't super smart, he wasn't super masculine, he wasn't super anything.
He's basic.
He was a basic average dude, quirky, dumb, wanting to be funny but not really.
He's a regular human being
in a world full of females that, again, like when you look at it, it was just like in the comic book, just like they're doing now, it's just like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like, men were in the warehouses, men were the engineers, men were men were the president. What are we gonna do? And then you have the strong women in like the show in the comic book where they're like, no, we could do this, just shut the fuck up, like let's relax. Let's do this. And then you had the other ones who are just like, nah, Like, what the fuck, you know?
They just went savages.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's one of the things about the show I could critique, whereas like I felt like it went too fast, women becoming savages.
Yes.
I was like, what the hell happened? I was like, they just all got mad at each other and just became like fucking savages. Like,
yes. But the other thing I don't like with in the comic book, he had the same getup, but he disguised his voice to be feminine because his whole reason for the getup is that once he went outside of his apartment and he figured out what the hell's going, like not figured out what was going on, but noticed what was going on, he knew he had to protect himself from the women because they would look at him and blah blah blah.
Why are you alive?
Yeah. So he would disguise his voice, but in the show he doesn't do that. And at the same time, there were certain people that he meets in a comic book that they didn't do in the show for some whatever reason that kind of are pertinent to the story, but for some reason they didn't do it here. But I'm still interested in the show. I want to see where it goes. I think
the show's a good show. Like at the end of the, like, you don't need to know shit about the comic book like to watch that show and enjoy it. To be honest, like I was trying to put people onto it because I'm like, nigga, just watch it. Like it's a cool concept. Like why wouldn't you want to watch the shit? Yeah. To be honest.
Yeah. I want to see how many people are going to be Why the Last Man. And if there's no people, that's my lost opportunity. That was the easiest fucking shit ever.
Some people be ready, some people won't be ready. This shit literally just came out this month. Yeah, it's been a month.
So what? Comic-Con people are always on it.
That is true.
And we are gonna get nerds this time because you know the whole COVID.
Well, there's gonna be purists there.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot more diehards. Yeah. The casuals, goodbye. You made the line shorter for John Cena.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I fucks with that. Like, I can't wait for that shit. Cause like, I would like. So what you would think with the Lawada? All right, so let's say we would meet there tomorrow. What would be the Lawada Last Man aspect that you would want to see, like the costume?
Well, like, the basic costume is going to be the gas mask, the thing, and maybe a fake monkey, but you don't need that. Like, I bet you
there's no for like the Amazon women or anything that would stand out.
No, because in the comic book they don't really wear get-ups. Like his is the only kind of get-up that it was, and he doesn't wear it for the whole comic book. He wears it for like the kind of beginning because he's trying to fake it. Actually, no, because when he walks around with the agent and the Asian scientist, he still has to disguise himself. So he wears it all the time, but that's his getup. No one else has to have a getup. So the Amazons that are coming later, which is a good, like I told him before the show, there's going to be an Amazon that's going to be like the Negan of the show, where she is a super feminist. And I want to see when they do that, if they do that correctly, or they're going to be too scared.
That FX, you know, they've done a lot.
What just happened with fucking Chappelle?
No, but Dave Chappelle is different and FX is different.
So, but she's like a super feminist and she's anti anything masculine. So at this point, nobody knows that there's somebody, a man alive, but any woman that's doing anything masculine, she kind of goes after, like, she's trying to be feminine, but she's a masculine in a certain sense, right? And the whole reason why they call them Amazons is because they start using bow and arrows. And they said Amazons used to cut off one breast to aim better.
That was the whole ritual in the last episode.
Yeah, so it was kind of like you start seeing that in the comic book, but they don't wear costumes, so it's not like a fold over shirt. Like, I got one baby, you know, like
but you don't expect it until you see the shit.
Yeah, but they are savage.
I wasn't expecting to see titties, and I was like, oh shit, there's mad titties. Just
one thing that
every different type of titty you can see in one episode. Orangutans, all that.
Orangutan. One thing that they had in the show that really wasn't crazy in a comic book was that tranny person. They had one in the comic.
Oh, the guy you're talking about? The girl, the guy. Yeah.
But it was nothing like they're doing with him in the show. Like all his whole thing was not in a comic book. There was one girl in a comic book that used to, I'm trying to think, she used to tape hair, either like glue hair to her thing, because she was a prostitute. And people would want a masculine thing, like to have sex with. So like she would wear a strap on and she would be like a prostitute, but she was nice. She's like a girl. Well, I'm not sure if that's that, or she actually took like steroids to make her grow like a beard. But there was a character like that. But I see where they were trying to go with them. It was just funny here, Ruben, when they were just like, I thought that was the same guy. How did he jump in the farm and shit like that? That shit was very funny.
No, because there is a part, yeah. No, because I felt that same way when I watched it by myself. So it was mad funny to hear them say that shit. I was like, all right, cool. I'm not the only one. I just kept it to myself. But nah, they definitely do look alike. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The whole trend aspect, like to not try to get canceled to say the nicest way. I get what you're trying to do. I don't give a fuck.
But I think it is. And again, I say this comic book is before its time because you got to think that shit was written and done in like the 90s, I think, or early 2000s before, this whole big community came out. And then it was just like,
isn't that a better look for the trans people? That technically, if you're a trans, you're a man.
But you don't have the Y chromosome. Die. But you don't have the Y chromosome.
Exactly, but that's disrespect for them. So you should be mad at the show. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the show.
But that's the science. You're gonna be mad at science.
Yeah, be mad at science, nigga. Be mad at the shit that y'all disagree with.
I wish I could bring the Ben Shapiro shit. So when he got choked out by the tranny when he said that, that was a good.
Be mad at science, nigga. Yeah. I ain't got no tranny here to choke me. I'll punch that nigga in his face.
We're gonna cut it off, but you might get some live videos from me or from him.
You're definitely gonna get. I'm gonna definitely do a live shot of how everything looks. I'm gonna do random shit.
I'm gonna be trying to talk to some of the cosplayer girls.
And we're gonna have a good ass night.
And we're gonna be on the cruise, so we're gonna live from there. I'm gonna be drunk and live from there. I know I'm gonna be drunk. I'm not gonna say I'm not. Fuck that. I'm gonna be drunk. I'm drinking out there.
I'm not gonna give up any of my info because I had plans.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna cut this up into 2. Have a good night, people.